video. Sorry, but, I guess there's stuff happening, sort of, kind of. Bella keeps talking. And, some of the stuff she mentions is just, it's worth talking about. I would suppose. Just the related stuff. She did a couple of videos to Renetto. And that's just related to a couple of these people that died, that I pretty much hated. It's all, okay, yeah, well, let's pretend I'm upset. Sorry. Yeah, the world's a better place. Whoa. Ooh, my camera's telling me something. That's rude, Gary. I'm gonna tilt. Because that's a rude thing to say about the dead. Whatever. Yeah, fine. It's good people. Somebody says somebody's mother or something, right? So somebody's always connected to somebody who thinks they're somebody. But it's all quite strange. I mean, tell you what, I just watched a couple of Renetto videos, and I haven't done that in 458,000 months. Anyway, a very long time. Renetto's just such a cunt. My last interaction was like that Vloggerhead website thing, and he's gonna sick his lawyers on me if I tried to sue him for being a slandering motherfucking cunt, violating all my copyrights and such. But he was just such an asshole. And he made it so personal too. Kind of just whole rag about my life. And I remember he made a couple of really just shit videos. Just really rude. But anyway, it's okay. I mean, that's Renetto, right? But that's when he was writing. That's right before everything just started falling apart. His empire crumbled. He was just so arrogant. Well, anyway, that whole thing is just so. But I feel bad now, right? Because I'm just like, okay, he's got kids and all that kind of stuff, and you don't like people having stress in their family because that leads to all kinds of horror. So you can't really do anything but say, gee, I hope things work out. But I really just hate the whole Carnival, Barker, kind of Renetto, sales kind of shit. I just hate all that. It's just so cliche, Freudian manipulation. Make people love you, and do whatever it takes. And it's just that kind of manipulation. I can manipulate them. I mean, he has a little mantra, but his real mantra is something like, I can control them all. I can manipulate them. I can make them love me. I can, you just know that's what's really going on in his head. This is that, it's, he's just kind of whatever. But anyway, the funny thing, the thing I wanted to get to was just the fact that nobody's watching his videos, which just seems funny. I mean, Renetto was like the top of YouTube when YouTube first started, that this was called entertainment on YouTube. I didn't really understand it. That's why I didn't do YouTube back then, because it looked kind of stupid. So, and then I got a video camera or something happened. I did public access TV, that's right. So that's what got me to YouTube, just because I couldn't get on public access TV, right? It's supposed to be some American right you have, and my own town wouldn't let me on. And they didn't. I went to a court and everything. The judge says, "I don't know what this is. Public access television. You don't own that. Did you buy it? Go get your own TV station." The judge said that to me. Go get your own TV station. And this is all part of finding out that America is already a third world jackboot country. It just doesn't have. This is idiotic. We have judges, Superior Court judges too. This isn't like some frickin' traffic court judge. This is a judge getting paid, $170,000 a year kind of thing. And she's an idiot. I mean, a fucking retard. I didn't want to get on that subject, but it just brings back all those old things, and you're just like, the realization that, oh, fuck, this is going to be harder than I thought. I kind of had this perception that the world would change when you forced the world to have an argument, and then they would lose the argument, and the world would say, "Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm stupid. I'll stop being an asshole." I really thought there was something like that. That there would eventually. I always thought the Jedi's would win. Not because they got better lightsabers or any of that kind of stuff. They would win because they're right, and they'll make a better argument. And Darth Vader would get depressed and die. I mean, it wouldn't take anything it wouldn't take anything dramatic, is all I'm saying. I'm just saying it just took this idea of forcing the issue, and I just thought the internet would do that, and then the internet just got taken over by the trolls, and so fuck it. It's not going to work the way I thought it would. And yeah, you can't use any of these devices in a realistic way to out the bad, because people are so dumb that they don't even understand. They just say, "You have long hair," and swear. "You must be wrong." So I'm glad the judge was an asshole to you. They don't care about the issue. They don't care about the principle. They don't care about the law. They just go by, yeah, that guy's tall and that guy's... I like shorter people, so I want him to win. I mean, there's nothing rational, is all I'm saying. It's like the OJ trial, right? Nothing rational. Poor, pure, persecuted black man. I mean, the most unpersecuted black man in America. And you're just like, oh, this is going to be your poster child for black man persecution. A guy who quite obviously just cut his wife's head off right below his children's bedroom. And this is a guy you're going to feel sorry for. Well, she stole those synthetic breasts from him. Those were his, and she knew it, and she didn't give them back, so yeah, fuck her, bitch. I know this is 1946 news, okay, so fuck it. I'm just saying that's what seeing Renetto did to me. It was just brought back all these, oh god, the internet's a horrible place. I've just sort of ignored it lately, so I mean, I haven't had to deal with it. I just don't deal with anything anymore on a personal level. I just don't give a fuck. So I'll only make arguments, and that's all I can do. But I'm just not going to bother suing anybody or doing anything, because fuck it. It's preposterously unpleasant to personally interact with these assholes, because then you're just basically saying, yes, maybe I should join ISIS. I mean, they seem to be getting something done here. They're killing humans, which seems like a great idea. And that's not good for me. Yeah, it's not where I want to be going, personally. But that's so Bella talked a little bit about determinism, and it's very hard to do. It's very hard to say anything off the top of your head on the subject of determinism without sounding stupid. So she did sound a little bit stupid, like, I'm going to change my determinism. Who's that I person? Oh, you mean the determined person is going to tell the determined person that they're determined and not to be determined. Oh, that doesn't, yeah. So that's the catch of all this, is that the determinism goes as deep as your will to not be determined. I will not be controlled by my determinism. Except the I part of me was already controlled by it, so there's no point in me talking about I, because I is already a program controlling me. I mean, it's already a box I'm stuck in. The box of, I don't play the piano very well. Alright, I don't play the piano at all, technically. I mean, I know that the high notes are at this end and the low notes are at that end, so I play the piano that much. Or the low notes that end and the high notes that end. Wait a minute. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I know there's ends to the piano and they have differences. The ends are very different from each other, and the middle is the middle. So obviously I don't play the piano, and that's just a fact. And you have thoughts in your head, and you don't have other thoughts in your head because your head hasn't heard them yet, or you haven't constructed them out of 2 plus 2 and made a 4, and said, oh shit, I have a 4 now. And that's kind of what these conversations can do, is that I'll be talking, and all of a sudden, somewhere in the conversation, I'll say 2, subliminally. It'll be 2, it just won't be 2 in the shape of 2. It'll be 2 in the shape of some other thing, some other metaphor, some other Renetto. Renetto was like a 2. And then the dead people was another 2. And then I made a 4 out of that. That kind of thing. But yeah, that's how it happens. Something provokes a thought, and then that provokes a connected thought because of what it's connected to. Renetto connected to scruffy beard. And somehow that says, I don't know if that's a good look for him. Or something like that. And that's the stuff going on in your head all the time. But it's a limited math, right? You're limited to whatever numbers you come up with. And so I could argue that philosophically, for me, principle-wise, say when I was 12, I came up with a mantra, a little addition in my head, and the addition was, I'm an asshole. I mean, fundamentally, my basic function is to be a cunt, a shithead, a what's in it for me-er. Oh, that's tragic. I just lost my fucking lighter in a morass of wires that might electrocute me. Yeah, I'll have to find where's my flashlight, damn it. It's terrible. I'll be back. See how it wasn't that long. You're in there, fucker. This is just take a minute. Just bear with me. God damn, it's probably, it's more the karma thing, right? Yeah. You said nasty shit about dead people. They'll steal your lighter. It's like God's judgment. Yeah, take his lighter away from him. That'll teach him a lesson, fucker. There it is. Upside down. Didn't see it. It was vertical this way in the wires. Anyway, so when I was a kid, I just came up with this idea, this thought, and so that became me essentially. Once I had that thought in my head that protect against being obviously an asshole. I mean, you don't want to be caught being an asshole, because that sucks. But there was also a principle involved where as soon as my brain started doing that asshole, what's in it for me thing, the thought would arise. The principle would say to me, hey Gary, you're doing that asshole thing. And I'd have to be aware of it. It had to be thrown in my face. So it's sort of the argument I was trying to make to Bella about the animal thing for me. Is that, I can see them peaceful and comfortable and blah, blah, blah. And that just means there's not a problem, right? That just means bad is asleep. Good. Bad's asleep. I can sneak around, do some stuff. But bad is going to wake up. That kind of thing. So that's my paranoia. Isn't so much that most of the time it's okay, but some of the time it's not okay. And it's that some of the time that's not okay that's really bad. Really bad. I mean, really, really bad. Really, 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 really bad. And, it's sort of like you can't do any of this stuff. Like if I was going to go skydiving or something, right? The last thing you want to do to ruin your fun, right, is to start thinking about, well, what if the parachute doesn't open and I hit the ground, I'm not dead and I'm just all broken and they take me to the hospital and they keep me alive and I have to blink shit with my eyeballs and why am I doing this again? I mean, it really just going to take all the go thing out of you, So you have to do this whole positive thinking thing and blah, blah, blah to get through just living. But you're still cheating. I mean, it's just, I'm not, that I guess I'm just saying is that I have a program that'll just keep reminding me every time I start to do that kind of shit, where I start to rationalize bullshit. Oh, you're cheating again. It's like saying, see, somebody, I actually had a thought a few months ago. I said, hey, nobody on the internet's died lately. And that seemed kind of bad for me, right? Because I'm saying, oh shit, it probably means I'm going to die because somebody has to. And I'm probably as interesting oh, did you hear Gary dropped dead? Inmendham's dead. And they'll sing the little witch song, Ding dong, the inmendham's dead, do do do, and all that. And yeah, everybody be happy. But they'll still have physics way wrong, so they'll pay for it in the end. Um, but anyway, I had that kind of thought in my head that it's this thing. You're just saying, well, death is going to catch up, right? I mean, you're flipping the coin. Oh yeah, we got heads. Oh, heads, 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 and we're way ahead in heads, and so some tails got to show up, right? They're coming. Oh shit, it's coming. It's like the rain. It doesn't rain, it's going to rain. So yeah, it didn't rain all summer. Now it's raining every fucking day. But it's warm, so it's not snow, so that's really good. Except when it's not snow, it gets in my house. If it's snow, it stays outside, but if it's not snow, it sneaks in. But anyway, what else I gotta fix? Cleaning up for Christmas? Yeah, it never even occurs to me. Yeah. No. Company is for sitting outside in chairs and such. People in my fucking house. I do leave one chair for them. There's one little chair, one little place. Okay, company, you can sit there, and that's it. The rest of my house, fuck you. Don't touch it. Don't get your germs on anything. A whole nother issue, though. So anyway, this whole thing, we're just all programmed. So this is the funny joke of the whole thing, right? He said, you can care about this, and I care about, being dead and not finishing my missions. I have missions here, and I want to finish them. Ironically. I mean, for most of my life, I was just completely defeated and deflated and like, okay, I couldn't give a shit if I lived or died. And I was miserable and I didn't die. And now I'm miserable, but I want to live just because I want to finish my work. I got work here. I got this. I want to finish this and say, job well done, Gary, you did it. I mean, I want to be able to know I succeeded before I'm dead. Yeah. Because it just doesn't seem like, it's like I want to win the Nobel Prize before my father's dead. And it just doesn't look like it's going to happen, and that pisses me off. But I really want to, part of me really wants to win it before I'm dead. But these are all things you want. These are all things that don't fucking goddamn matter, but they have nothing to do with torture and suffering and misery. They're of no real meaning. And it's all determined. It's all an inevitable cycle of what neurotic human intelligence will roll through as it progresses through information. And that's what I would argue I'm a byproduct of. I'm a byproduct of information. And I would say that most of the information I'm a byproduct of is really solid information. I can go through why I'm an atheist and why I care about animals and why I'm the sentient thing and all. These are all really rational conclusions about the cost effectiveness and the implications of your life. I mean, if I'm arguing that how you affect the world is more important than how you affect you, that's an argument nobody can rationally defeat. I mean, it's quite obvious you're only capable of experiencing so much pain and suffering. The world is capable of, it's got a whole much more brains in it to suffer. So you obviously can do more damage externally than you could ever do internally. And that's just a fact, right? So it's almost a kind of determinism that intelligence will ponder, will walk through this water we're walking through, this questioning everything, every notion of existence, and this whole, that's related to the Anaconda playing with the word taboo, or the concept of taboo. And yeah, it just sort of irritates me to connect these subjects. Like I say, there's no point in talking about cannibalism in any other context than consensual cannibalism. Some sort of cannibalism. It's like fucking corpses or something, or incest, right? Incest doesn't have any, it doesn't mean anything unless it's something in a social context where people are going to have babies or something. Well, then you have to be against it. But if there's no reproduction involved, who cares, right? Why the fuck should I care if somebody gets off that way and it's consensual sex and all that shit? What's it? I mean, that's to be retarded for it to somehow affect me in some negative way. That would be stupid. I mean, I'm not saying I couldn't have a subjective sense that it's ugly or something, like two men kissing always bugs me a little. I mean, it doesn't bug me in some negative, like, judgmental way. I mean, it just bugs me in some sort of visceral chemical way where it's like somebody eating a food that I find disgusting. It's like, oh, that's so gross. So it's just gross, but it's not a negative kind of judgmental statement in any way. So you could see cannibalism as gross or something, but there'd be no reason to see it as, oh, don't do that, if the people have agreed to it. Like if somebody understands when they're dead, it doesn't really matter, and they say, well, some guy, he could see such a hard-on for fucking my corpse. Okay, you can fuck my corpse. I mean, as a thought, it's like, oh, gee, that's sort of undignified for me. Him propping me up and fucking me. I mean, that's just, that's kind of undignified. I don't know if I want that indignity, especially if he dresses me up as something. I mean, that's the disgusting part, right? He's probably just not a necrophile. He's probably going to dress me up like a dog or something. So I'll be like a dead human dressed as a dog getting fucked. Anyway, but yeah, I'm just saying logically you can know that this really doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's really just about this suffering thing again. So some other analogy was about, I think, that stupid, the retarded guy, Hoffaday, brought up something about rape and this utilitarian argument. He doesn't really understand that utilitarians aren't just hedonists in the sense of positive accomplishment. They rationally understand that there's negatives, and they attempt to make some balance between a worthwhile pain for a worthwhile gain, right? I mean, the pain has to be worth the gain. And I'm just arguing that negative utilitarians are just like me, where somebody would be just saying that there's no pain worth any gain because all the gains are bullshit. There's no such thing as a real good gain. And the gains are just repairing brokenness. So I think if we understood each other's pain, then we could understand that it was worth making an exchange. Me enduring a smaller pain for you gaining relief from a greater torture. So it's sort of like, if I can have a cold and it would cure your cancer, it's almost like that kind of exchange. So you could theoretically have a circumstance where, yes, you can create this idiotic rape circumstance where, oh, the man's pleasure is going to be greater than the woman's pain. Well, they both have to understand that, right? And so you could almost argue that if they both understood the other person's torment, and then made the rational decision this was a good idea, then you could say, yeah, that makes sense, okay, because you understand what's getting exchanged. Again, maybe I don't want a cold, but again, if I see it, if somebody can put it into my head the torture somebody else is going to feel if I don't get the cold, then I'm going to say, yeah, okay, it's better I get the cold, because now I can feel their pain. Both of them are inside of me, and I can make an evaluation that's fair, where when it's external, when it's in somebody else's brain, I can make rationalizations and excuses and all that stuff and say it doesn't matter. Where if I'm the woman and I can feel the torture inside of some man who, just is tormented by this need to have sex with me, then I might be able to say, okay, no biggie. I mean, yeah, it's not a huge deal, so yeah, just don't defecate in my face and don't do some other things, and okay, just do your nasty, cure your cancer, so to speak, your discomfort, your unhappiness, your torment, and we'll go our way. But I'm just saying, if you personally understand what's at stake, look, if you could feel the pain of the animals you ate for dinner, I'm just saying you wouldn't eat them. It's just, in my opinion, it's just perfectly obvious. You'd understand that your stupid fucking gratification of yum 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 was certainly not worth the pain and suffering endured by the animal as it was tormented through a life of incarceration and eating gruel and all that kind of crap. So if you felt its pain, there's no way you would see gain in your stupid bologna sandwich. Right. So I guess the determinism was the thing I really wanted to talk about, but I think I've already hit it. And again, it's always going to be sloppy unless you really write this one. I mean, determinism has to be, you have to say these sentences very carefully to make it understood that realizing, the idea that you do have these thoughts, the thoughts themselves about determinism are determined, is part of the logic. And there's just no way to ever get away from that. You can never escape the determinism. you can just acknowledge that there's things that are determined. There's things that are going to happen that are purely and incredibly logical, and there's things that are going to happen that are really, really fucking dumb. And that's the thing to make a distinction about it. The dumb stuff that's still motivating or controlling humans, and the smart stuff that's controlling humans. So obviously you could say that I'm controlled by programs, and I'm going to argue that my programs that are controlling me is whatever you think of me. I'm telling you, the programs are really good fucking programs, because they have nothing to do with me being happy, and they have nothing to do with all the stuff you would think they would have something to do with. They're just really good programs that's saying you have to do that, maximize your effect, and you have to do this, and you have these are rock solid hunks of shit that are controlling. Well, controlling is a tricky word, right? They're influencing me. They're always encouraging and persuading and nagging me. Not necessarily always effectively, so I'll concede that point. And that's part of the determinism of being a monkey, and not a very well trained monkey. Yeah. So the last thing I wanted to get to is she said, I think religion will always be with us or something. And I would argue no, it would have to die, because it's just a symptom. It isn't a real thing. It's not the real disease. Ignorance is the real disease. You can only be religious if you're a fucktard. You have to be an idiot. You have to really not understand anything. So it's like my whole argument with being a vegetarian, or understanding, because you feel the pain of the animals. You recognize its existence, and you do your best to imagine it in your brain, and then once you have done that, you're closing the door to a certain activity, because you say, shit, I understand that now. There's no fucking way that's worth it. And so that's just logic. It's just intelligence. Religion is completely annihilated by just a minimum amount of accepting a few of the ABCs of existence on Earth. I mean, you have to deny science entirely to be religious. You really do. You have to just deny it. Or, like the political types who are claimed to be religious, you have to believe it actually does humans good to believe in a fake God that tells them what right and wrong is. That somehow we are too stupid to be genuine. That human beings can't be genuine intelligence who genuinely understand that each other needs care and comfort and all that shit, and that somehow we need to lie to each other to make each other decent. And so that's how disgusting, like this stupid asshole running for president who's a fucking brain surgeon who professes belief in God. Why don't we make these fuckers, look, polygraph tests aren't perfect. They might not even be, I know they have value, so it's just stupid to say they never are right, or they can't change the odds. And I just say, hook these fuckers up, because there's no way this fucker's telling the truth. He doesn't believe in this fucking God. Alright? He's just doing it because it's a social club, and he thinks this social club is good for human beings. He thinks it's good for human beings to lie to each other about what it is to be a decent human being. And it's disgusting. He's running for president, and he's fucking lying about pretty much the most important facts of reality, because he doesn't think the real facts will do anything but tell people, be a monkey. That's how stupid these fuckers are. And that's what nihilism does to people, because people are too goddamn stupid. They think there's only two choices. A moral lie, religion, or nihilism. And everything else is looking right at you. You can't even miss it if you try, if you just do a tiny bit of science. A tiny bit of science will teach you that you're a sentient organism, you have a feeling brain. I mean, that fucking cunt Holiday was making these distinctions between consciousness and sentience, like that makes any sense. You're not going to ever going to be able to show me a consciousness that isn't sentient. It's never going to be possible. You're never going to create anything called self-awareness without sensation, without, fuck, I felt that. We feel even what we see. I mean, even when you're seeing, you're feeling the photons in a sense. You're feeling it. You're not really just seeing it. You feel your eyes focus. You feel your eyes seek. So there's no consciousness without feelings. So fuck you, cunt, and your bullshit distinctions. Ugh, asshole. He has such an asshole program running in his fucking head. I'll see if I can be a fucking asshole. Be an asshole. I mean, he must have an asshole mantra he reads to himself every fucking goddamn cunt morning. Ugh. Fucking irritating. That's most people. Oh, it's hot in here. It really is warm. Christmas Eve, it's 80 fucking degrees in the house. I'm wearing a Christmas sweater. But anyway, enough of that. So yeah, I think that's enough for the video. Did a couple of physics videos, taking them on, all these little icons of physics and playing some of their videos and their clips where they're just talking absolute bullshit. You can just watch them make it up. Make up physics. They're just making it up. Well, we see a gravitational lens. Let's just create 40 times as much as the visible matter. Let's make 40 times more invisible matter. Okay, so we can do this math that makes it a real lens. Because there's no way it could be a lens if you don't invent a bunch of mass. But it's not real mass. See, it's special mass. It's only gravity when it's way out there, but it's not gravity anywhere else. Just so bad. I mean, it's just the emperor's not wearing any clothes. The presidents are all scumbag liars. The physics guys are all bullshit religious kooks, essentially. Jerking off to Hubble Space Telescope pictures. I mean, it's just disgusting. Yeah, it's just, that was so bad. So anyway, that's enough of the video. I was thinking I'd do a room, tonight, for all the Christmas losers, but I really just don't feel like it, so I don't think I will. But there's a possibility, so I just say that it's possible, but I just don't think I'll do it. I just don't feel well enough lately. I know I don't know anything about it. I really, this just always happens. It's my argument about the dungeon and how you keep climbing and you really just keep sliding sideways, so things keep changing. You keep thinking, hey, I'm getting somewhere, and all you're really doing is going sideways. You're just kind of doing this sideways motion. And so my life always seems like it has these new challenges in it, but they're really the same thing. I mean, it's the same story for 40 fucking years of, being neurotic. But it really does seem different with each version of it, even though it really is this Star Wars 698. There's the Death Star, there's the Luke character, there's the Jar Jar. Oh, God. Still can't even believe they did that they even made that character. I can't even believe they did that. And made Darth Vader a pussy. You killed my mommy, so I'm gonna be just such a little pissy shithead. He didn't even go rescue it. Like I said, he went through like 10 years of Jedi training. And nowhere in those 10 years he could have said to somebody, hey, you know what? We better go get my mom. We left her as a slave, and that whole thing. I mean, I know at the time you were all too busy to do anything. But, couldn't any of you Jedi guys go save my mom? Please? So I don't show up a day too late and get all pissed off and then turn into Darth Vader. I mean, you can all save yourself a ton of grief. Can't you, little frogman, Yodi guy? Can't you see into the future? Woo, 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 woo. And see that everything would be wonderful if you don't fucking kill my mother? Huh? Stupid fucking movies. They don't make them like they used to. Scrooge movies, yes. Watch a Christmas Carol movie, right? There's a whole bunch of them. Christmas Carol, Scrooge, all kinds of titles like that. Don't watch any of the ones made after like 1970 or something. Yeah. And listen real close to the little ignorance and want part. Yeah. And the part where Marley says, "Mankind was our business. You dumb fuck." Yeah. Pay attention to those parts. And then you will deterministically be stuck. It'll stick to you, and you'll say, "Oh, I get it. There's no way to win this stupid game as an individual, because I'm not the only thing alive and feeling." I mean, these are all simple things, right? I mean, just the idea that, just the understanding that the future is much bigger than the present. I mean, as a fact, that is just going to it just crushes all your personal ambition. I mean, you just realize that's the way it works. The future could be huge by comparison, and I can't steal any. If I steal something from the future, if I borrow their money, that's just so grotesquely, criminally stupid. It's stealing candy from a baby. It's just horrible. Oh, anyway, well, that's sort of just a taboo. But let's not get into the economics of candy baby stealing. Because yes, most babies don't know what the fuck they're doing anyway. They don't know the difference between candy and poo. Anyway, now it's enough of a video. Probably. So till next time.